Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to the community conversation brought to you by Prototype Training Systems, home of CrossFit Prototype. The community conversation highlights a different member of the Prototype community each week and allows them to tell their story, share the life experience, and communicate their perspective on all things fitness. We've all listened to podcasts and watched YouTube videos that highlight some of the world's greatest leaders and visionaries, and these people also walk amongst us. We believe there's some amazing people here at Prototype, and we want you to get to know them. So to that end, I want to introduce you to our third guest, Dan McCarthy. Dan has been a part of the Prototype community for almost 2 years. If you've ever been in the gym, when Dan's in the gym, you know he's there. He's always rocking to Celine Dion, dancing. He's got a ton of energy, and his overall body has transformed since he's been at the gym, and it's been pretty spectacular to see. So Dan, thank you for being part of the community conversation, and yeah, man.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah. So like these are conversations. So, first thing is just, give us your background, tell us your story. Like, who's Dan McCarthy?
That's like, where do I begin? So I was born, no. So for me, and I guess in terms of all things working out, growing up, I wasn't part of any sort of like sports. I did wrestling. I was on a wrestling team in high school briefly. And I really dug the whole team mentality, working out as a team, loved it, but that was short-lived. Mm-hmm. I only did that for a very like a year and change. And then, then I didn't do like any working out. Like, I never went to the gym when I was a kid. And then when I was younger, it feels like another lifetime ago. But in California, I for 8 years working out there, I was we were paid to work out. We were paid to be in shape, paid to be, stay healthy and stuff. And so as a group, we would all work out together. And so that, it just sort of was like a byproduct of the job. It wasn't like, I got to go to the gym and punch the clock doing that. It just happened. Mm-hmm. And then I went to school for tree work, arboriculture. Mm-hmm. I'm a tree guy. And so working in the field, literally, like that, just staying in shape was kind of like a byproduct of it. And so I never really, made working out a priority. It just sort of happened. Mm-hmm. But now that with the job I'm doing, I'm kind of like a manager. I've got like clean, soft hands. Like I don't.
You're
like,
a boss now, buddy.
I'm a boss. And so working out, like I was getting like, I was watching my body slowly, and I realized like I needed to find a crew. I needed to find somebody to motivate me. I needed a training partner. And eventually I stopped into Prototype, and it was like a perfect marriage of like working out with the community. It just sort of happening. It just sort of happens. And that's what I love about the gym. It just, it's like the whole camaraderie and everybody doing it together, in it together. Love it.
Yeah. I want to talk more about, because I remember the day when you walked into the gym. I want to get back to that in a second, but you mentioned being in California and you getting paid to work out for 8 years. You got to let the people know, what were you doing out in California? Because from what, if I didn't know you, I'm thinking you're a professional athlete. So tell me about what was going on.
We were extreme poets, and we would get together and we would write really beautiful. No. Actually, so I was when I was a kid hanging out, I was in Foxborough, and me and my buddies were just like screwing off one day, went outside, and there were all these fire trucks going by. And there was a big fire in the woods behind my house. I said, guys, let's go check it out. What's going on? So we went over there and we watched the local fire department put this fire out. Like fire right there in the woods, and it was the coolest thing. And then we went by at night, and then, like the woods were still smoking, and embers were coming off the trunks of the trees. And I turned to them, I said, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. I want to be a forest firefighter. And through the greatest stroke of, I can't explain the luck that I got. Like I was in the right spot at the right time, talking to the right person with the right job opening.
Tell us.
And yeah, it was just, I mean, it was, at the time I used to think, and I guess I still do, is the power of positive thinking. Like I want to do it, like it's going to happen, like I want this. Mm-hmm. And it just happened. And I got a job on a 20-person firefighting crew. That the term is a hotshot crew. They use chainsaws, and it's 20 people on the line. There's chainsaws, and then there's guys with like these axes and hose, and then after that come like these scrapers and shovels. And it's a very simplistic method where when the woods are on fire, you cut a little path around the entire fire, and the chainsaw, like you cut the stuff that's not on fire, the green stuff that's not on fire goes in the green. The stuff that's on fire goes in the black. Mm-hmm. And together you just kind of, you don't use water, you don't use hoses or anything like that. And it's pretty hardcore, and it was awesome. And then I kind of like rose to the top of my crew and that thing. And, the final rung in the ladder of fighting fire is Smokejumpers. Smokejumpers, once you're on the ground, you kind of do the same thing. It's the same method, but the method in which to get there is you would parachute into the fires or next to the fires, and you go over there and you put it out. And then when you're done, you pack it up, put it in a big old pack, and either you walk out or you call a helicopter or whatever. And I did that for 4 years. So I worked for the Forest Service for 8 years, and it was like the greatest, the most fun. It was rock star. It was, I miss it, Mike. I miss it.
So you're in California for 8 years. You talked about like this luck, right? Which, luck isn't necessarily luck. It's when preparedness meets opportunity, right? So you're a guy who gets lucky and gets an opportunity to do. It's like, what was that like? What? Tell us that little story, because I remember you telling me something about basketball.
That's right. Yeah. So like, I was a kid. Like I was so like, yeah. And so the night before the interview, I'm living with my brother, and I'm like, what do firefighters wear? What do forest firefighters wear? Like, I got like this brand new like red flannel shirt. They wear, and like creased blue jeans. Like that's what like
that's interesting. What do you wear to an interview to be a forest fire? That's yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. And yeah, like I didn't have a resume, and yeah. And so it was now March of 1990. It's so long ago. And my brother says, Dan, you don't look that big. You're not that big. Because I guess we're thinking of like Paul Bunyan's and like, anyway, I was like, so like I show up late to the interview, and this woman, she opens the door and she's like, we're going to have to dock your first paycheck. Just joking around. But like, I'm a firm believer in the power of a smile. And I was working it hard with this chick. Like you sure will. And so right off the bat, we kind of got some sort of chemistry, sort of like, but not like chemistry, like kind of like mother-son chemistry.
Yeah.
And so we sit down, and there are these, so it's Carol, this guy, Mike, and Dave. No, I'm sorry. Dave and Dave. That's it. Dave Conklin and Dave Kerr and Carol. And we're sitting there, we're talking. They're talking about forest fire fighting, and, like the long hours and the dirty and whatever, like completely unfazed, like, sure, whatever, I don't care. And I don't know why I said that. But So Dave, one of the Daves said to me, so what do you do to stay in shape? At the time, zero, like jack. I wasn't doing anything. And like I didn't prepare. Like this was long before the internet where like, what do you say on an interview? I don't know. And at the time I was like, at night, me and my brother and one of his lab mates, he was going to USC. And anyway, we would play basketball. I can't dribble and think at the same time. Like I would be the guy to stand and they would pass the ball and then I would pass it. Like I didn't do any, I never shot it anyways. Oh yeah, I played basketball. Unbeknownst to me, Dave was on the hotshot crew. Dave Kerr was the firefighting captain, and they were out of the same office, the same station. And they would have like serious competition between the engine crew and the hotshot crew. And like they immediately saw me as like a recruit. And so that was, again, like I said, just had I said, you know, I work out and run, and which was totally talking out my ass, but I kind of was talking out my ass. But anyway, that was just one of the examples of saying the right thing, completely just being honest, kind of. And yeah, it just worked out. Yeah.
So
awesome.
Like for everyone that's going to watch this, right, that knows you, but doesn't necessarily know that you did, like, this was like your background and what you did.
Yeah.
Jumping out of a helicopter
plane
into a plane, sorry. Jumping out of a plane into, with a parachute, obviously, into a fire doesn't sound like the safest thing. Very heroic, but not the safest. You said it's a lot of fun. You got to talk about that, what that's like. You know, I can only imagine you're in a plane, you're looking down, smoke's coming up, you're about to jump into it.
All right. So, yeah. When I got the call, like I put my hat in the ring and I applied to all the bases. There's like 9 bases. And this time I had a resume. I was a legit firefighter, and that's what the jumpers want. They want guys that can fight fire. They don't care if you can, if you parachuted. They'll train you.
Okay.
They would prefer that you not have any training, just because they want a blank slate. They want firefighters. They want guys that when it's showtime, you can handle that. And with the way the Smokejumpers, the base works, it's totally cool. So there's a list. Let's say there's 50 guys. There's 50 guys on the jump board. Only so many guys can get in a plane. So like if the plane at the time can only fit like 12 dudes, those 12 guys are first up. And so a call comes in, those first 12 guys run to the locker room, get in their outfit, waddle out to the plane, and they get on. So then they get to they go off, and they got to go wherever. And the reason for jumpers is they get to fires that, am I talking with my hands too much? They get to remote areas quickly. You know, like if you had to drive to a wilderness fire in the middle of nowhere where there's no roads and you had to hike in, the fire would be a gobbler. It would be huge. So very often you would get to a fire and it's not big. It's like sometimes 2 dudes will get there. And so the intent is to get there before it gets big. Sometimes it's the entire plane goes. Sometimes it's 2 planes. Sometimes the entire base goes. Yeah, I have so many stories. And why am I telling you this? What was
talking about? We're talking about you're jumping into a fire, dude. This sounds dangerous.
Right. So I get the call. To come. All right, only 2 bases we're hiring that year, because it's always kind of like offset by a year. Sometimes if it's not a bad year, a lot of fires, they're like, we don't need a lot of dudes. It's always kind of in reverse. And then when there is a lot of fires, they hire a lot of dudes. And then sometimes the fire season isn't that bad. But with the way climate change is happening, every year's the worst. It's awful. It's like, anyway. So I got the call. All right, come to Reading. You got to be in shape. And so for for I don't know, a month and a half before showing up. I was like, and this is before CrossFit. This is 30 something years ago. So now that was the 1994, the summer of 94. So 25 years ago. Mm-hmm. And working out, doing push-ups all the time. Push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, running all day. Like I like watching TV, just doing push-ups, because the washout rate, if you guys got picked, 10% of the guys that got picked would make it. Everybody would get washed out. And so you had to be ready. So I was so ready. I had to be physically ready. And it wasn't until I was driving up to report to the base did I realize, wait a minute, can I even jump out of a plane? I've never done that. Like, that was so like secondary. It was like the performance, being ready. Anyway, so what's it like? So you get in the plane, and they teach you, they teach you on, like, there's this tower and there's, classrooms.
How many training sessions did you have to do jumping out of a plane before they're like, hey, jump into this fire?
Well, that's the thing. Not many. They give you 7 tries, 7 practice jumps. But that was in the day. Now, I think they give a ton. There's a lot of training. But so Rick Hagenson, this guy was like a mountain man. He could tell the tracks of the animals in the mud. He knew every tree. He was good looking. He had like this handlebar mustache, awesome. Mm-hmm. And he was the trainer. And so they would film every exit that's jumping out of the plane. But like back in the, that's with like the video camera with the thing on his shoulder. It's not like the cameras we got now. And in this plane, I'll never forget, we're in the plane. So there's the spotter. He's got in the back, he's got a radio to the pilot. And they can tell through various things. They can tell which way the wind's blowing, how far it's blowing. And he'll stick his head out the window and he'll tell the pilot, like, left, right. And then we go over the jump spot. The jump spot is predetermined. When you're up in the plane, you see the fire and you look for an opening in the woods. All right, we'll go for that meadow right there. That in between those trees, we're going to go for that. And so he will then say, all right, on approach, he'll tell the smoke jumper, he'll say, I need 1 guy, or I need 2 guys to hook up. So he motioned 1 guy, and I waddle up and I hook up into the plane, and then he's talking and he's looking out the window, and the wind is swirling in the plane, and it's loud, and the exhaust of the engine, and all the other smoke jumper candidates wide-eyed, just like, what? Like, this is crazy. This is like crazy. And is he gonna do it? Am I gonna do it? Like, and so then the spotter sends, as he's on approach, he says, get ready. So you put your hands in the door and you step back. And then when he hits you on the shoulder, you got to explode out, get in a position. And they've taught you all the moves.
How high are you up, by the way?
This is 1,500 feet. So it's not recreational. Okay. It's quick. Yeah. And you're hooking up in the plane. So with a static line. So the hook is attached to the top of the parachute. And so literally, if you're dead and you fall out, the rope will pull the parachute out, and you will be open under canopy. You will be open. It's not like you got to pull a ripcord.
Got it. Okay.
And he says, get ready. And I get ready, and I'm ready. I'm waiting. And I'll never forget. He says, McCarthy, be somebody. I said, oh my God, I'm going to rip this door off. This is going to be the most epic exit ever. And he hits me on the shoulder. And after it was all said and done, we looked at the video. It was me. It was like I was a drunk cowboy falling off a horse out of my saddle. And it was just the most pathetic. Like, I bounced off the side of the plane. And at the time I was like, yes, I'm awesome. And it was, yeah. And so I'll never forget, Rick was like, we got a lot of work to do. But yeah, so I made the cut, and that was just one story. But what's it like? It's weird, like when you climb a ladder or you climb a tree or whatever, you can see the distance, you know the distance, you feel the distance between where you're at and the ground. When you're in a plane, you don't feel it. It's just like the trees are wet and like you're just more mental. It just felt right. It's just like, that was like, yeah, it just felt right.
So how many times did you jump out? Like, do you have an idea?
69, dude.
Is that real? Is that real? Is it really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then tell me you have some of these videos. You said you had like videos. Tell me you have videos.
Well, we didn't have, you don't have the like your personal, like we've got videoing, people trimming their toes. Like we didn't have that like videos back then. Yeah. I think I have a like a home video, the video camera somewhere. Like I know, like an old pile. I don't know, but like I don't have the thing to watch it on because it's so the small anyway. But yeah.
Well, those would be some amazing home videos. I can only imagine it'd be nice to watch those. I feel like we could talk about this stuff all day. I love hearing this stuff, and I know you like talking about it because it sounds like you're so passionate about it. Tell me, like, so I know it sounds like you had to get into like the best physical shape of your life, right? Like it's coming to this, and I know that was a lot of hard work. So you're in, talk about like after. So like you're in this for 8 years, started a hot shot, spent 4 years as a smoke jumper in California. What do you move back to Massachusetts and you go into school for
it was urban forestry. I went to UMass.
That's right.
So in the wintertime it rains, no fires, so they lay everybody off, and so it's a real great young person job. A lot of people are like ski guys, some students. Very often I did nothing. I just was like, whatever, like, yeah, I just freeloaded in California. I traveled. I drove across the country a whole bunch, and yeah, that was a good time. But every year I get in trouble. Like every year I get in trouble. Like I would be like, one time me and this dude, it was in McCall, Idaho. We lit up downtown and almost got fired. And every year I had to dig myself out of the hole of me being a buffoon, a kid. Like I had to prove myself. Anyway, so I finally was just like, this firefighting thing, they're never gonna like hire me permanently forever. And so I with Redding, California, Northern California. So every base has its own identity. Alaska has, like, they're known for being physically fit. The like runners are big runners. Montana, they're like older. It's like they send the horse out to the back 40, let them do their sunset years. In Oregon, they were like, this is the time grunge, rock and roll. They were all like grunge rockers, whatever. And so in the identity of California was we were big tree climbers because the trees in Northern California are massive, and you had to know how to climb. Yeah. You had to know how to climb in case you landed one, and sometimes you would land in one, so you had to climb out. Anyway, so the guys I worked with would have side jobs doing tree work, and I helped them with that. I took to tree climbing. I liked it, and then finally was just like, you know what, California's awesome. Time for me to go back home. I applied to UMass. I applied to like one college. But the power of positive thinking, like that's where I'm going to go. And I went, and I did they have like an associates thing where it's a 2-year deal for arboriculture, and then if you stay with the school for 2 more years, you get your bachelor's. And so I got a degree in urban forestry with an emphasis in arboriculture, doing tree work. And yeah, what was the question?
Every question I ask, I know you're gonna ask that afterwards. So you went from, which is fine. So from California back to Mass.
Yeah.
You grew up in Mass.
Yeah.
Back to Mass, get your degree, settle down, start a family, do your thing, you know, and I know you're an expert at the tree stuff because you've come over to my house and I've watched you literally run up and down the trees and tell me everything about these things and rip out a bunch of dead ones. And I know you're an expert there, but there's a period where like you weren't like at your physical peak fitness, right? Like, so like talk about that. And then like how like you transitioned into like now coming to Prototype, working out and, you know, getting back into that sort of like that peak fitness or that level of fitness that you were, you know, that you were accustomed to when you were at Hot Shot or Smokejumper.
Yeah. So like the off season, like I would do zero working out. And I like during the year you paid to be in shape. So it was just a byproduct. It just happened. And then with working in the field, like doing the work, doing climbing every day. Like I used to say, people's backyards is my gym. I mean, like you're lifting, you know, you're lifting and carrying and sweating and doing all this stuff. I was like ripped. And it just, again, like the way I opened it up, it just sort of happened. It just sort of happened. It wasn't like a conscious, there was like a schedule. So I got to do 30 squats with a 5-foot long log. No, it just happened. And so that's where I recently, the last few years, I just was watching my body like catch up to itself. Like,
because you're managing now. You're in like the boss mode. You weren't not doing all that sort of stuff.
So it's like you climb and you drag that, and I'm gonna be over here. Like I don't want to pick that log up, and but then it was like I would try and keep my street cred, and so I'd climb, I'd help the guys out a little bit, but then it would hurt, and I was not the badass I used to be, and it was bumming me out, and I needed structure. I needed to be told the routine. I needed to be told, all right, we're running this way. And I think CrossFit is ideal for me.
Yeah, I would agree, especially with what you were doing and what you were accustomed to before. I mean, and you've only been with us for a couple of years, but like, you know, I get the sense, and I feel like everyone at the gym probably gets the sense too, it feels like you've been here for a lot longer than that, just because you have this incredibly energetic personality and you're super personable and friendly. And that's what makes you just an incredible member here at the gym.
I appreciate that, but I think the reason for that is the way you've structured the gym, the way you have set it up to be a community, to be, you know, you call it the fit fam. Like I think, I think when new faces come in, they are not like scrutinized, like, who are you? You haven't done your time. You shut up and you stay in the back corner. I think it is very inclusive. And I think that's the reason why if it appears like I've been there longer than I have, like even now, like I'll be at the gym and I can't really tell if there's a new person or an old person that hasn't been here for a while, because everybody's just talking. Everybody just is welcoming. Yeah.
And that's why you thought that I still had a mustache, because we've been having masks on and we can't see everyone's face.
Dude, I am like so good when a girl comes in and she's highlighted her hair, or if someone's got like trim or whatever. I know, bam, she got a haircut. He did something. I am embarrassed that I didn't know you shaved your mustache. I am sorry.
It's a few months now. It's okay. I'm right there with you too. But I'm more with the sneakers and shoes. If someone gets a new pair of shoes, I'm like, get new shoes. How'd you know? I haven't seen you in weeks. Looks like some new shoes. Oh man. So Dan, again, like you've only been here for a little while. Tell us, you know, what's your favorite? Give us like your favorite story so far, or your favorite moment at the gym to date.
Oh, woo! The favorite moment. Oh man, I didn't see this question coming. Well, I love working out I like the working out in the parking lots. I love that. That was fun.
That was fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard now. It's a little chilly. Maybe some snow.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I dig that. I love the the opens. So I've done, I think
coming up, man. It's coming up soon.
Oh yeah.
You ready?
Totally not. But yeah, no, I think the opens. Yeah, I guess I would say that. So I got a video of, it was the first open, and it was like the last Friday of the open. And so for those that don't know, we kind of make it a party at the gym. You bring food, and it's people cheer. It's chaotic, and there's music playing. And I remember talking to people and not knowing the moves, not knowing like, what are they doing? Like, what is, like, this was very long ago in the beginning. And I just knew, like, I'm home. Like, this is like, everybody's yelling and hooting and hollering, and there's like techno playing. And it was just like, this is awesome. And,
there's techno playing.
Yeah. And yeah, so I guess that the scene of the open. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's coming up March 11th will be the Prototype Open. We're going to be rolling out again, intramural open. So that will be fun. 2 teams. Yeah. I'm sure that you're going to be a big part of that, which you don't really know yet, but you will. Also, if you didn't know, you were nominated for a few awards this year for our community awards, which it's actually from today, from this conversation. It's on January 22nd. That's our holiday party. So hopefully
I'm going to win the most troll, like the bald troll dude.
If we had that award, you might win it, but we don't, unfortunately. You might, I don't know. Who knows? So Dan, final questions.
Yo.
Fire round. All right. Number 1, favorite movie / TV show or TV show of all time.
Favorite movie or TV show? You're not gonna do the James Plimpton, like your favorite word. Shit.
Your favorite word? That's
like that. He would end his interviews and like whatever.
Favorite word, yeah.
Favorite movie? That's so difficult. I would say Jaws.
Jaws. All right.
That is the definition, the epitome of horror. It is such a well-directed, well-acted, well-written, just it set the stage for like good movie making. And yeah, I like that, Joe.
It's certainly that movie certainly has made a lot of people afraid to be in the water.
Like, I won't let my kids.
Me included.
Yeah, it changed society. It changed society. Like, I won't let my kids watch it. Like I don't want them ruin their ocean experience. Yep.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. All right, so Jaws. Next question: favorite musician or artist?
Oh my gosh! So Above and Beyond. Above and Beyond is a trio, 3 guys, and it's like EDM, electronic dance music, kind of techno. They have their own record label, Anjuna Beats, and it is such positive, a good message of inclusivity and love, and really energetic music. It's the best music. So the story about Celine Dion, like, I love that one song. It's like the best song, but like, I never listened to her. Like, if you ever hear me, or if you ever see me listening to music, it's Above and Beyond. Gotta check it out.
Got it. I think you did show me that when we did we were doing the 24 Heroes workouts.
Right.
Yep, I like that. It's good. It's good stuff. We got to get that on the jams next time you're at the gym.
Yes.
All right, final question. What's your favorite thing to do when you're not working out at the gym?
I like doing projects. Like, I'm not a project kind of guy. I guess I just like working, like around at work. I'll help neighbors. I just like working. I like working. But yeah.
Like shoveling Mark Higgins' driveway?
Right, exactly.
Very nice.
But
that's why we love you, buddy. Those are nice things.
Yeah, dude. So I guess if I was gonna leave off with one thing for the other members, is that like you say, it's important to, and others, like, help local businesses, visit the restaurants. I see this interview as helping the small business. Like, you want this, I will do whatever you want to help grow and help Prototype. Yeah, I think this is the least I can do to help the message of Prototype, to help you facilitate your vision. Yeah, like I'm all in, dude. And yeah.
Well, that means a lot to me. These conversations are about you and about our community getting to know you. But I do appreciate that, and you supporting and doing this, man. It really means it means a lot. And with that said, you guys that are tuning in and watching, remember every week we're releasing one of these new community conversations with a new guest to get your week started. So every Monday we'll be posting these. So to be the first one to know, subscribe to the YouTube channel or join our daily brief newsletter. These videos are also posted in our private members group on Facebook, which is like the best group on Facebook. So if you're a member and you're not in that, just let us know. We'll add you in. And then lastly, if you're interested in being part of the community conversation, just shoot us a message and we'd love to have you. So to that end, and until next time, we appreciate you guys tuning in. And Dan, thank you again, my man.
Right on, man. See you later.
Yeah.